Hello and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time joining us, you're in for a treat. This will be a little different of an episode as the mentors have taken over for Carmen this week. If you've not seen other things, I'd urge you to check out all of the inspiring things going on with season 3 of The Biggest Transformation. As always, there'll be a link in the description below. And be sure to check out other things on Carmen's channel. You'll find it is incredibly inspiring and encouraging. My name is Matthew. I'll be your host for today. I had the privilege of being a part of season 2. And if you go and watch the beginning of that episode, you'll notice a subtle difference. But let's not talk about me. Let's talk about who you're really here to see. And that, of course, is our friends from season 3. So let's go ahead and get to the weigh. Weigh-in. Can you call it out?
168.0.
168 even. Great. That one will actually let me spotlight. All right, you are in.
$191.4.
Ready when you are.
$220.0.
220 even. Great. There you go, buddy. Call her out.
$303.7.
There we go. We're ready for you.
$266.0.
All right, you are live.
$227.
236.8.
Abby.
$162.2.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Let's see. $236.2.
$200.8.
261.6.
Bryce.
$402.2.
All right, we have your standings for week 2. Coming in at number 1 with 14.2 pounds lost and 6.06% is Dana. Congratulations. Number 2, we've got also a dead tie for weight loss at 14.2. This is 5.66%. Steve. Holding down number 3 with 11.3 pounds lost for a total of 4.57% is Krista Joy. Moving up to 4th with 15.2 pounds lost for a total of 3.64% is Bryce. With 12.4 pounds lost and a percentage of 3.32 is Nikia. Next with 5.4 pounds lost and 3.11%. So just kind of nipping right behind the 2 above her is Lori. Next with 9 pounds lost and 2.88%. You guys are keeping this close and fun, aren't you? Is Stuart. Then Abby with 3.4 pounds lost and 2.05%. Excuse me. Like I said, there are a lot of you. Having lost 5.2 pounds and 1.92% share. 3.6 pounds and 1.85% is Wendy. 3 pounds and 1.47 is Tammy. And finally, 2 pounds and 0.87% is Trisha. Great job, guys. That is fantastic. Well, friends, I'm incredibly excited for today's teaching. The message that is going to be shared with you today is one that everyone I know in season 1 and season 2 said was critical to our development. So both for the cast of season 3 and viewers at home, I'd say that this is a message that if you can wrap your head around and get serious about, this can be the very, probably to me, the most fundamental building block of making real lasting change in your life that is about so much more than just a number on the scale. And I can't think of anyone better to present it than my dear friend and fellow castmate from season 2, Missy. Missy is one of those people who, no matter how much life tries to slow her down, just never stops. And at the end of the day, I think we all know that getting to the finish, getting to where we want to go, moving along on the journey isn't about how fast we're moving. It's about never stopping. And Missy is one of the people that, by my view, embodies that most of probably any of my friends. So I am excited to have her join us and excited to have her bring this just incredibly important message. And with that said, I will hand it over to her.
Okay, thank you so much, Matthew, for giving me that warm welcome. Yes, life is seed, and I continue to speak that over myself daily, and that's how I reach my goals. So when you speak life over yourself, it moves you forward, because life and death is in the power of our tongues. So our goals must line up with what we are speaking and what we are saying to ourselves. So I took out the word try. Like I used to say, like, I'm trying to exercise. No, there's no power in those words, try, right? So like I begin my day and I am saying, like, getting myself in front of the mirror, I am going to exercise 30 minutes a day. I am going to do that. I am going to eat according to my plan. I am going to get to my goal. So I focus on I am instead of I can't, because it's powerful. Making ourselves a priority and our health a priority is the number one thing that we can do for our lives, right? And motivation is made. So I try to motivate myself every day to get towards my goal. It may be slow, but I'm getting there. And so are you. So give yourself a pep talk of like what's going to happen to your lives. Speak to yourself. Are you going to go out to eat the yummy food? No, you're choosing to stay focused and eat what you have planned for that day. You're choosing to eat what you've prepped, what's in your refrigerator, because it's your choice to eat that food. And what you speak over yourself is what you're going to get. You're going to get, healthy food and fueling your body and reaching your goals. So choose that, choose life and speak over yourself in order for you to move slowly or fastly to your goals. I talk a lot with my hands. That comes with teaching. I tell my students every day to let their words come out of their mouths and let that define them, because I teach students with mental and physical disabilities, and whatever they tell themselves inside their mind is what is coming out in their studies. So yesterday I had to give myself a pep talk before I went out into our community, and it was like a street fair type thing that I was going to socialize with my family, socialize with my friends, right? And I had to give myself a pep talk before I went out there, because all the yummy food was out there, guys. All the yummy food, like the cotton candy, the ribs, the smoked, pulled pork. Like, I love to eat that stuff. I do. I'm eating it. I love to eat it. But I was choosing not to eat that stuff. And I spoke that over myself before I walked out the door, because I knew that if I said it out loud to myself and I spoke it to myself, that would help me be able to stay focused on my goal, right? So I spoke over myself. I'm choosing to eat the food that I already had prepped. I was taking my water with me. I was taking, certain things with me. I took a beach bar with me. I was coming prepared because I knew that people at this event were going to say, Missy, why are you not eating the pulled pork? And so I had to have a prepared response to that, right? I'm eating according to my goals, partake in whatever you wish to partake in, but this is what I'm choosing to do right now. This is what I get to do right now because I have goals for myself and I need to get to my goals. Now, I may not be traveling as fast as everyone else on this journey, but this is my journey. This is my journey. And just like it's all of your journeys, you're on this journey. You're on this journey until you get there. Listen, I've been on this journey since 2016. I have not been perfect. I am not Jesus the Christ. I fell off. I will come out and admit that to you guys. But the important thing is I'm not a quitter. I got back on to travel this journey, not only with season 2, but with you guys. What a blessing. What a blessing to be on this journey with you guys. Amazing. So if you need to give yourself a pep talk every morning, get yourself in front of that mirror. I will do this. I have to look at myself in front of the mirror because, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So I have to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself, I will, instead of I try. The last thing that I'm going to talk about today is our brain does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. And so what I tell my brain is what comes out, what is produced in my life as fruit, right? So I use the power of not yet with myself and with others around me, family members, my students, everything. So I can exercise 30 minutes a day. I can, but I am not yet to the point where I can exercise 45 minutes without stopping. I'm not yet there. I will get there. I will get there. Whatever it is, I started with a gallon of water. My goal was to drink, a gallon and a half of water. And so I would speak over myself. I can drink a gallon of water a day. I am not yet to a gallon and a half of water a day. Today I am. Today I am drinking more than a gallon and a half of water a day. It took me a while. It took me a while to get there. And it was okay because it is my journey as well as your journeys. You guys are doing amazing, amazing. And we must first transform our minds for our bodies to be transformed. When I'm exercising sometimes, when I'm out there walking, I have inspirational music, inspirational speeches going on while I'm walking and doing all the things that I need to be doing because it encourages me to keep going. So with that, I am just encouraging you to speak life over yourself every day that you can get there. You will get there. It's just not yet. You're on a journey. You're not running a sprint. You're running that marathon, and it's going to take some time. With that, I would like to turn over to my amazing friend that has been pregnant throughout most of her journey with us. She is focused. She is consistently reaching her goals. She has inspired all of us because she's been kicking our butts and taking names. She is just beautiful. So please welcome the most beautiful and determined person on the planet, Miss Danielle.
Thank you, Missy. That's quite a welcome. Good morning, everybody. So Carmen talked to our group a couple weeks ago on the same subject of word is seed and negative talk. And for me personally, it was the most impactful message that I've heard in all the weeks I've been on Biggest Transformation. I don't know, it just really woke me up to how negative I had been, and it was a wake-up call for me to get off of this, get out of that thinking of, out of that cycle of negative talk, and start thinking in a way and speaking in a way that really aligned with my goals. So I just wanted to give you guys a couple of examples of how I put that into practice the last couple of weeks and what it did for me. So I had been in a bit of a weight loss plateau and just really discouraged. And the one day I was so hungry, or I thought I was hungry, I had all of my calories by 2:30 in the afternoon, and I was done. And in my mind, I was already, looking for excuses of cheating. Like, I was already giving myself permission to cheat and thinking like, well, I'm not losing weight anyways. Who's going to notice if I cheat? Or maybe if I have extra calories today, it'll, just kick my body into breaking this plateau. Just really any excuse. So as I was getting up to go to the fridge to get food, I remembered Carmen's talk from the day before. And I just stopped, and I just decided to take those thoughts captive and those feelings of hunger captive, because I wasn't hungry. I had just had 1,200 calories of food within a couple hours, and I wasn't going to starve. So I sat my butt back down, and I started speaking out loud. I started speaking, I am victorious. I will have victory over this. I'm not hungry. I'm bored. And honestly, guys, within an hour of speaking this over myself, I started to feel full and totally satisfied. Like, I was pretty pessimistic going into this and like thinking, does this actually work? And it does. I was able to enjoy my evening and not think of food. And for, an overweight person like me, like, not thinking of food is huge. So it just, I was so proud of myself. I didn't eat until 10 o'clock the next morning. And I just was really proud of myself. And it's all because I switched my mindset and shifted the words I was saying out loud. And And another quick example is, like, my parents live in Haiti, and they came to visit us for a couple weeks this summer. And I love my parents, but I am an introvert, and I also love my space, and I love my routine. And so I don't know, the whole time I had a really rotten attitude, and just thinking what an inconvenience this is. Like, I can't work out where I want to, or I can't work out when I want to because people are always around. Just really negative. And the funny thing is that I was thinking to myself and praying, like, God, why is this visit so hard this time? Why is it not as fun? And why is it so tense? And so when Carmen was speaking to us on this, it was like a light bulb moment, like, ooh, like, it's me. I really have to change my attitude and my mindset. So, right then I flipped the switch. I did like 180 degrees. And that week, anytime a negative thought came in, I just stopped it and I chose positive. I looked for the positive. And I promise you guys, that was the funnest week we had as a family. It was, yeah, like we stayed up late talking and laughing and just really enjoyed each other. And so I am just so thankful that Carmen had that talk with us, because to me, it was incredibly eye-opening. Not just for weight loss, but just life in general. Yeah. So I would just really encourage you guys this week to take time before you speak and just think, is what I'm about to say lining up with my goals? Is it lining up with where I want to be? And is this keeping me excited for this journey? Yeah. So with that, we're going to shift over to you guys and let you guys do some talking. Your question for today is, what has been the biggest struggle that you have overcome in the past 2 weeks?
Gosh, there's lots of different ones. I think making sure I get all the food in was one of them. And I just have to use a cross-off method, where once I eat a food group that I'm supposed to, I cross it off so I keep track. I just have to keep track of everything. My mindset was another big one. Being more positive. I think this week I was a lot more positive and thinking, you know what, if the scale doesn't necessarily weigh or record what I think it should, or, you know, say what I think it should, I know that there's other wins. Like my stomach feels smaller. I think I said that before. I didn't cheat as much. I remembered not to taste food when I was cooking. I was more conscious of it. And I was more in the moment of like working out. I knew, you know, what it means. So I think just having a really positive attitude more than being more negative helps a lot. And that's something that I have to overcome, because, you know, sometimes when you get on the scale and it doesn't look like what you think it should, you get really sad and discouraged. But I have to keep really digging into the other wins. And I'm trying to, and I feel like it's coming around more and more. It's getting a little bit more easier for me. So that's my big win, is just staying positive, trying to stay as positive as I can.
Okay, hello. Let's see, over the last 2 weeks, this week's been better, but getting all my food in has also been a thing, because it's just more in volume than I had been used to eating. But that I did much better with that this week, and actually was getting hungry between meals finally. I guess my body's finally adjusting to what I'm eating and seeing things. And I think my only other thing is I'm steadily losing a little bit at a time, but I'm not seeing any of those big jumps like some of the others have been. So that's just been, you know, once again, kind of just working on your mindset, just keeping focused on what is changing, because I know my body is changing and I've been doing my measurements and they're shrinking. So I know things are going on in the correct direction at least. And if I just keep steadily going where I'm going, then I know I'll get to my goal, even if it takes, you know, a while. So that's just been kind of the things that came up, is just kind of keeping my mind focused on the positive in those areas, and just continuing to make sure I'm getting in all the good food each day, and actually been pretty good with my water and that kind of stuff. But and I did have a few times since I'm finally getting hungry between meals that I'm like had a few cravings, because when I'm full, I'm not having those cravings. So did have a few times where I had to go, okay, yeah, no, I'm not hungry. I'm just, you know, bored looking around and there's no reason to get anything. So haven't broken my, you know, no cheating streak. So that's awesome. So I'm happy about that. So anyways, been pretty good overall other than those areas so far for me.
So the hardest things for me in the past 2 weeks have been to actually get my required supplements in. I'm still really struggling because I hate drinking my calories. I want to eat all the food. So I've been really trying to work on myself to try to find the right routine to make sure I'm getting in my post-workout shake, and then also my shake that I'm supposed to take once a day with all my good nutrients. So I've been playing with some things. Where I was a great deal less calorie intake basically from what I was eating, because I didn't realize how much I was overeating in general in life. And then what I actually found was I still couldn't even eat all of that. So I just, for the past 3-4 days, I've played with taking it down one notch, and I'm just knocking it out of the park by eating all of that allotment. So I'm super proud of myself for that. So
by far, my biggest thing that I had to overcome is my feelings. So, for instance, the first week, I did almost everything to a T. Didn't quite get all my water in, and when I weighed, I think I was 7.8 pounds, what it was, and so after that, I felt that the key word was felt. I felt that I should have lost more, and so taking those, not having those thoughts, going to something bigger than that was my first week, and then the second week was even compounded even more because I still did everything right and wasn't losing at all. So yeah, so it was just taking those feelings. So at the end of the day, I was thinking to myself, well, if I would have lost, 12 or 13 pounds that first week, I wouldn't have felt that way. So because of that, feelings don't matter. So you can't have feelings based on a number. So as long as I keep doing what I need to be doing, I know eventually the numbers will change. So it was just taking those feelings and not realizing that they're feelings are just feelings and they're not. It's just part of the journey. So that was the biggest thing, was not letting those feelings want me to or have me eat. Because in the past I would have, no question, man, I would have freaking went to a buffet and wore it out. So I did not do that obviously this time. And so just knowing that I have power over those feelings was the biggest thing that I overcame these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's huge, Stuart. Absolutely. Taking control of our own thoughts. And it goes back to what Missy and Danielle are sharing today, right? That word is seed, and life and death really is in the power of our tongue, right? Even the things we're saying in our own heads, right? All right, Cher, we're going to come to you next.
Hi, everybody. I the same struggle as everyone else, not letting what the scale says get me down. Particularly even this morning. I mean, I weigh myself every day. It's been a very up and down week with the scales. We had our last meeting Monday, and then I weighed myself Tuesday morning, and I was up 2 pounds, and then I went back down, and today I weighed myself yesterday, and I'm up 2 pounds from what I was yesterday. So I'm like, what's going on? And it's hard. It's very, very difficult to not let those numbers get into your head. And those feelings of like discouragement are really, really powerful. So trying to switch that narrative and not get dejected and really, really like, I get very disappointed and really frustrated and really sad. And not letting those things steer you in another direction that is going to be more harmful in the long run, and trying to stay focused and just positive and believing in the process, like just keep doing the things and it will come. That's a struggle, and I'm still working on that. Yeah.
Hi. Probably the biggest obstacle is, again, the same as last week, was the scale. Last week I had a really, really hard time with it, pretty much a meltdown, because I did everything like spot on. And as a matter of fact, I'm still struggling getting a couple of my containers in every day, mostly getting all of my water in. Some days it's a little bit short, but to me, that was just super, super frustrating. So I did a lot of thinking. I spoke with Karen, and that helped a lot. Again, I'm frustrated because today I'm 2 pounds up from what I was the last 2 days. So I could be bawling my eyes out right now like I did last week, but I'm not going to do that because I know I have non-scale victories. And last week I lost like almost 7 inches, and today, or not today, but yesterday, I guess when I did my measurements, it was almost 3. So I'm going to choose to look at that and not let it get me down, because I know what I'm doing is the right thing. And I'm just going to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, biggest challenge for me these past 2 weeks is just I guess you could say dealing with the unplanned. When I have time to prepare to get all my food together, to be away from home for a day or away from the office for a day, I'm at home or I'm at my office. feel like I got pretty good control and discipline over, what I'm eating and when. But it's, when you're out for a whole day, or you're out for longer than expected, and, having everything with you, because, honestly, when you need a quick fix, when you haven't had any food in 4 or 5 hours and you need a quick fix, you're not going to find very many healthy options going to a convenience store or to a fast food. Or that was kind of the root of my slip up on Sunday, was just not having not being fully prepared for being away as long as I was that day. And so I kind of dealt back into some old habits.
Great. Hi, guys. These are really awesome. I would say one of my biggest things that I have overcome these past couple weeks is not finding an excuse not to work out. So basically, it's a mindset thing because I became a major procrastinator. Like, I work with procrastinators at work. I mean, with different clients, and they make things a pain in the butt for us. And now I'm doing the same thing with always finding an excuse not to work out. So this has been really awesome, where literally, like you guys just said, with the power of your tongue, we'll get toward the end of our workout, or I'll think, oh, if I do this, I'm going to be way too sore. But I look at the screen and I say, yes, I will do this. And I get my butt in gear. So that has been really huge.
Hi, guys. Probably the biggest struggle is going from summer mode to teacher mode. Just, my school is early. I have to get my kids up for school before I leave. And so 4:45 comes really fast in the morning. And though I'm used to getting up early, I am not always used to getting up early and then immediately pretty much doing something within 15 minutes. So, it's always a struggle to get back into school mode, but it has been exceptionally challenging to get into that school mode in the morning and not don't let myself sleep in. I have to be able to get my energize and my recover before I leave my house and in between exercise and everything. And it just feels like, if I don't get up in time, it's not going to happen. And so that's been a big struggle. I am fully dedicated to do this. I am full on. I'm not uber competitive, but I am very much keeping up with Joneses. So you guys are talking on Marco Polo and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, I got to do that. I got to keep up with that. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not competitive necessarily, but I definitely want to be doing what you guys are doing, because I'm like, I don't want to miss that. I don't want to have some FOMO.
How are everyone? Oh my gosh, just listen to all of you all. Just bless my heart, because we are getting better. We're planting those good seeds, and that is so amazing. So I would say for me, look like I'm a little dark. I didn't put my lights on today, y'all. I would say my struggle that I had today, I dealt with for the last 2 weeks. One, of course, I had talked about just mindset and talking to myself, that I can do this, and losing the weight, right? Having a vision and looking at that picture and just believing you can do this. So I had to overcome that and talk to myself and put more affirmations in place to write and to speak over my life. So I would say that's the struggle and then the other struggle that I had is I'm so busy with real estate. Is so demanding right now, and with my coaching business, and then the traveling, and then unscheduled, and you get off schedule, and then trying to balance to bring it back on schedule to fight to get those things in, because I didn't meal plan when I got back from the event. The thing that I did overcome is figuring out, hey, if you can't cook the full meal plan, just get somebody that can buy it, and then looking at my budget to make sure that I can do that. And just knowing that with the scale, it doesn't define who I am because I am planting seed of doing the work and the harvest will come. And so that's where I'm at.
Morning. Wow. Yeah. First, I want to thank Missy and Danielle for sharing. I've got quite a few notes here. Thank you so much for pouring into us and your inspiration. I think for me, absolutely mindset, right? Because I know that 90% of success is mindset. And after a, you know, leaping start the first week and coming home, I had the framework set, and sometimes my back gives me challenges, and it was giving me fits this week. And I had allowed myself to get behind on my workouts, and something I heard in our Marco Polo group, I think Carmen said, was like, no, like, you committed to this schedule, do the schedule, right? So I went back in and figured out how many I had to do to get back on track. So when I start week 3 tomorrow, I am good. And I have to remind myself, stick with the process, fall in love with the process, and the results will come. Like Matthew said, and like Carmen have said, like, this process has 100% success rate. And I'm not going to be the first failure, and none of you are either.
Okay, so I'm Bryce. It's been 5 days since my last unplanned food item. And the hardest thing for me has been, golly, I've had a few because I've put myself in situations that weren't easy, but made it through those. Honestly, this week has been tough for me after having such a big week. I guess to summarize it up, it's the expectations we put on ourselves, and dealing with not necessarily meeting the progress we'd like to see. For me, that was really hoping that this week I would be at a weight that started with a 3 for the first time in a really long time. But still being motivated throughout the week when, I would be getting close and, all of a sudden then I'd jump up a couple pounds, or, it would get to like decimal points away from being at a weight that started with a 3, and I just not quite getting there has been really hard for me this week. But I know it's working. I can see that, yes, I am still losing weight. It's just not as quickly as I'd like. And just reminding that I didn't, get to where I am now in a day. It's not going to happen, in a week, taking it off. So, but just the mental aspect of this whole thing has been probably the most difficult part for me this week. It's easy when you're fresh and new and excited week 1, and then when you're not seeing those same big, huge numbers fall off the scale, it's a real, gut check time. So.
Oh, that's great. It's powerful too, right? Like what we expect of ourselves. And it's funny. I mean, you guys are all really early. You're only a few weeks in, and it feels slow at the start, but you're gonna blink. It's gonna be week 12. You'll be making crazy progress. The kids are growing and off to college and not calling anymore. I mean, it all goes so fast, right? I mean, it's truly incredible. But yeah, absolutely. Cutting yourself slack, understanding where you are in the journey is huge. And it brings us right back to, it was great what Danielle shared, about her, how this applied directly to her, and loved what Missy was saying with, life and death really being in the power of the tongue, and word really being seed, right? So we ask ourselves, what do we want to grow in our lives? That's what we say, that's what we plant. I just want to thank you so much for taking this time with us together this week. And I know that for us as people on this journey, and for our viewers at home, that if we do remember that we're to see, if we really grasp this, that we're not just going to see the scale move, but we're really going to see in our own lives, we're really going to start to walk and live the biggest transformation. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.